Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle from IELTS Advantage with another success story for you. So today we are talking to Hallin. Hallin just got his IELTS results and he did very well. So what scores, if you don't mind sharing, what scores did you get on your recent IELTS test?
I got 8.5 in both listening and reading, 8 in speaking, and 7 in writing.
That's excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So was it your first time taking the IELTS test or had you taken the test before?
This was my fourth attempt, and previously had exams thrice. And all those three times, I was struck at 6.5 in both writing and speaking. And my scores were between 7.5 and 8, both in listening and reading.
So you increased your writing score, didn't you? You finally
Yeah,
broke through that 6.5 barrier.
yeah, yeah,
How,
6.5 to 7, and for listening, also my scores were from 8 to 8.5, and most importantly, speaking also got increased from 6.5 to 8.
that's a big difference, 6.5 to 8. Wow. So what did you do to increase your speaking score from a 6.5 to an 8?
Uh, so when I wrote the exam for the first three times, I was struck at 6.5. So I was definitely sure that I am lagging somewhere, and I was not sure where I was lagging. So fortunately, I joined the IELTS Advantage, and I had this one-to-one session, and they clearly identified the mistakes that I was doing for the last three times. So I corrected that mistake, and even in the mock test, I was getting a 7 and above consistently for the 3 to 4 times when I sat for the exam, and that's how I improved my speaking score.
Was there anything in particular that we told you to work on to increase your speaking score?
Yes, when I sat for the first mock test, the feedback that was given to me was that the pace in the way I speak was really fast, and I was not following any intonations. So my fluency level got reduced, as well as the coherence is also not up to the mark. So that's the reason I was stuck at 6.5.
And I think a lot of students struggle with this, with their speaking. Where are you from, Helen?
I'm from India.
Yeah, a lot of our students from India, I think, struggle with the same thing as you did. So what did you do to improve your rhythm and your pace and your intonation when you were speaking?
So what I did was that I downloaded some movie scripts, and I was actually speaking to the words that was scripted in the movie. So that's how I could pause the video, and I could speak very less. So it took me some time. I mean, it's not very easy for me. I actually did this for almost a month. Then after that, I could sense that I'm speaking a little bit slow during the examination. So that's how I take it forward.
So you're like trying to match the way that the characters in the film or the movie were speaking.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's a good strategy because it sort of really shows you, where you're going wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about with the writing? How did you increase your score to get a 7 in the writing?
Uh, when I sat for the one-to-one speaking writing examination, the very first feedback that got gave was the grammar mistake. I was doing a lot of grammar mistake, particularly articles, prepositions, and tenses. Unfortunately, in India, the place where I live, they didn't give much importance to grammar. So just like that, we speak in our regular way, but we generally omit all those grammatical rules that are supposed to take place. But when I got the report, they clearly told that I was lacking in the grammatical rule. So what I did was I learned grammar from scratch, starting from noun, verb, all those things. I started from scratch. It took me a lot of time, at least 2 to 3 months. I was only doing on grammar. That's how I found the mistakes that I was doing, and I gradually improved my grammar. And the second thing was that apart from grammar, the examples and explanations that I was writing was not relevant to the main idea. So
Hmm.
that is actually dragging the score. So I corrected those two things, and that automatically increased my scores.
Yeah, I think that, grammar and especially these small grammar mistakes, like you said, with articles and plural nouns in your daily life, they probably don't cause you much difficulty, or, nobody's going to get confused if you make an article mistake in your daily life, but they can definitely be the thing that stops you from getting a 7 in the essays, can't they? Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, parallelly, I was also reading the daily newspapers, mostly the editorial sections. So I will just go through that sections, and I will see the articles that they were using.
So what advice would you give to another student who was stuck at a 6.5 in writing?
I would definitely ask the fellow students to go and watch the daily skills clinic, particularly in the grammar sections by the tutors. The good thing was that they were actually taking the real examples or the real essays written by students. They were marking the errors that were done by the students, and then they were correcting it. So that is the main thing that I found. It was very useful for me to understand my mistake, and other students can definitely go and see the daily skills clinic videos that were fantastic, and that was starting point for me. So that is how I realized that yes, these things can be changed very easily. So daily skills clinic is one thing that students should follow. And second thing is reading newspapers, probably an editorial or even some blogs in the online forums. If they constantly go through that, I think students can definitely improve their grammar.
And vocabulary as well, right?
Yes, vocabulary. And the thing what I did was that I kept a separate note for vocabulary, and I was noting down certain vocabularies which were used not very oftenly, and that's how I memorized. I mean, it is not very easy to just study the vocabularies in 1 or 2 months. It should be a habit for us, and that's how I initially did, and that became a habit for me when I was writing the examination.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it resulted in you making fewer mistakes with vocabulary because you were seeing how the words were actually used in an authentic text. Yeah, so that's
Yes, and
excellent.
yeah, right. And I was also very sure not to use high level vocabulary. At least the examiner should understand what you are trying to say, not to bring high level vocabularies and making mistakes. Rather than using that, we can always use the regular vocabularies where we use on our day to day life.
Exactly. I think that's a very important point for everybody who's stuck at a band 6.5 level. The most important thing is that the examiner can easily understand exactly what you mean. And for that, you need the right word, not just some word
Exactly.
that
Yes.
seems impressive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mistake that I was doing earlier was I was watching videos from many YouTubes, and there are many shortcut videos where they post in YouTubes, and it actually degrades our confidence. It is definitely not possible to get a band 7 or a band 8 in 30 days or 1 week. So we should invest more time. We should constantly put more hard work. That's how we can do it. It's not a easy task to achieve the required band within 1 or 2 months. We should invest more time for that.
Yeah. It takes a lot of hard work, doesn't it? But now,
Exactly, yes. For me, yeah. Actually, I joined IELTS Advantage in 2019 November. So my initial assumption plan was to write the examination in 6th month, but due to COVID crisis, my plan got delayed, and I wrote exactly a year after I joined the IELTS Advantage course.
but now it's paid off, hasn't it? You've got the scores that you need. And what are your plans now?
Yes, definitely. I got the required score, and I just enrolled for the Canada immigration, and hope if everything goes well, I can move to Canada by next year. Let's see.
Excellent. I'm from Canada
Oh, that's
originally.
great.
Yeah, it's a nice
Great.
country. It is.
Yeah, I heard
Cold,
that.
cold in
Yes.
the winter, so bring your warm jacket with you.
Definitely. Yes, Michelle.
Yeah. Well, Helen, thank you so much for sharing your success story with everybody. It's so motivating for students who are struggling to get the scores that they need to hear from someone like you who's been successful. And thank you so much for sharing with everybody.
Thanks, Michelle. It's my honor to share my inputs to other fellow students who actually spend more time in getting waiting for the record score. Definitely, they can do it whenever they follow their basic instincts.
Great. Thank you, Hallin.
Thanks a lot, Michelle. Thank you.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.